from the 32. Second and 10. Third and 8. First and 10 from 43. Second and 5. Third and 9. Third and 14. First and 10 from the 32. Second and 5. Third and 1. First and 10 from the 20. Second and 5. First and goal from the 9. Second and goal from the 8. Second and 8. Zero face mask comes at 1st and 10 from the 45. Second and 10. Third and 1.
field for the coin toss.
Let's go.
First attempt for the 20.
Look at me. Here's the line right here. There you go. Now you're on.
On the hole. Kick is good. It's 11:43 from the first period.
First and 10 for the 20. First and 10 for the 32. Sides on offense. Third and about 13. First and 10 for the 32. Got second and 5. More
clock to run.
We got 3rd and 1.
Say, don't run.
1st and 10 from the 20. Second and 5. First and goal from the 9. Second goal from the 8. Did you like that basketball pick?
What?
Did you like the basketball pick?
Oh, you see?
High school football team crew.
Short. Nope, made it.
Kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback.
1st and 10 from the 20.
And Kipper breaks his way.
2nd and 4.
Taken down for a loss.
3rd and 3.
And Campbell is on Carolina stopped short of. Ball is spit.
1st and 10 from the 46. First and 10 from the 46 for Winton Woods. Turn over.
And Kipper across the...
It's 3rd and 4. First and 10 from 35. Second and 6. Third and 5. Fourth and about 8.
Some food items.
First and 10 from the 35. First and 10 from the 20.
Keeper off left guard, picks up a couple.
Got second and long 7.
And keeper down to the 10-yard line.
Third and about 1. First and goal from the 6. Second and goal.
For no gains. Second and goal.
Third and goal. First and 10 from about 28, 6:54 left and a half.
That's the ball carrier out to about the
Second and 4.
You know, a lot of people go on vacation.
First and 10 from the 38. Second and 4. Pass interference! Pass interference, first and 10 from the 32. Second and 8. First and 10 for the Redskins. Third and long 3 after an Anderson timeout with 2:02 left. Yes. Second and 40. About the 45.
Coca-Cola with the purchase of food tonight after this football. Your ticket as you came in, and you want to go to Frisch's tomorrow night or after the ball game, you can get a free Coca-Cola with the purchase of food. Thank you, Frisch's, for second half.
There you go, let it go. First and 10 from the 35, beginning of second half. Second and 8.
Jake Nelson, ball carrier, on the play. Face mask against Sawyer.
Got a face mask, first and 10 from the 45.
First down, Anderson at the 45-yard line.
Second about 1.
Face mask! Face mask again.
Third and less than a yard. Oh.
Snap comes over Mason's head. That nice punt goes dead inside the 20.
First and 10 from the 17. First and 10 from about the 36. 10 from the 16. Second and 5. Third and 1 here. About 2 inches. Anderson timeout. First 10 for 28.
Let's go, Will! Come on!
Second and 9.
Let's go, Will! Right here. Oh, let's go. Big money. Big another. Play the box.
Third and 3.
Go.
First 10 from the 45. Second about 5. Third and 10. Pooch kick. First and 10 from about the 38.
That's a hole.
We had holding in the spot. It's about first and 22.
Right guard, it's out to the 30s.
17. Third and 7. Fourth and long.
Good timing. You know he is. Come on, you boys, let's go. Let's keep it on.
First and 10 from the 46. Got offensive foot holding. It's first and about 21. About 28. Second and 17. Second and 17, first play of the fourth quarter. Face mask, first and about 15.
Watch it crack! Watch it crack! Damn.
Let's see.
Get up!
Third and 1.
Sneak, sneak!
First and 10 from the 35. Second and 7.
My three kids went to graduation camp. I've been helping Bob Andrews work with the people skills.
Third and about 4. First and 10 from the 22. Second and 8. Third and 1. They gave him a touchdown.
Did you still beat him last year?
Last year we did. Second and goal from the 7. Third and 7. This way!
Here we go, here we go!
First and 10 from about 27. Second and 8. Second and 23, offensive pass interference. First and 10 from about the 14. Oh, shoot. We have a timeout. I believe it went wood. Here come this. Second 27 through 08. Scrimmage. Yeah. Second and 32 after offsides offense. Third and 31. Third and 14. And he says, no, there was 4. And it was like, yeah.
Even when we lose this game, we'll go, but
Rip that ball, guys.
they're trying to get it from you. Hold on to it. God. The quarterback we had 3 years. This other guy.
Timeout Anderson.
The junior.
Timeout Winton.
They had 7 points with 57. If they'd have played us last year, we'd have beat them by 40 points.
Next game.
Back to pass is Mason. He's got time. He fires. Got it. Touchdown. All right. Redskins. Looking downfield. He fires. Wide open. Wide open. Reed got it. The 5. Touchdown! Yeah! Touchdown! It's blocked. It's go! By number 37. Touchdown! All right! Touchdown, Redskins!
Hi everyone, my name is Greg Ellis and welcome to Redskin Review. This show is our 10th show of the season for the 2010 season. It's being taped on Wednesday, October 27th. And in this show, we're going to take a look back at the Redskins' 27-20 loss to Winton Woods in Week 9, and we'll take a look ahead at the final game of the year at home against Harrison. With me, as always, Dan Albers, Coach Giesting. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And Coach, we talked about it last week. Every time you play Winton Woods the last 10 years or so, it seems like it always comes down to the final portion of the game, and this game was no exception. You played a real good team on the road. And I tell you what, Fox Sports had to be happy with that game because it was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, I had a lot of people comment. They enjoyed watching the game, and it was maybe one of the best games that Fox had put on all year and so forth. But they were just a great team, and they were playing really hard. They were playing to win the league, and being on TV and wrapping up the #1 spot in Region 8 and Division 2. So they had a lot to play for as we did, and unfortunately, we came out on the short end of it by a touchdown.
It's hard to overcome you had some mistakes, and against a great team like Winton Woods, it's hard to overcome unless you're playing near perfect football.
Right. Well, we had some, a couple bad snaps. I think we overcame one of them, got a touchdown on it before the half. But, it's something that is, you don't like to see, but sometimes there's reasons for it, and there's injuries and different things that occur, and kids are doing the best they can, and sometimes we get a bad snap, and we knew going in the game against Winton Woods we couldn't afford to make major mistakes and waste opportunities because we don't have the playmakers they have. They have a lot more speed than we do, and they've got some Division I guys running around all over the field, and we don't have any right now. So, but I was really happy with our kids' effort, and they were fighting until the end, and we had our chance. We were moving the ball, and it just didn't happen for us.
You start off the game. You deferred the kickoff. Thinking that was obviously going to be a big factor in the game, and then they open up with that big long run by Owens.
Yeah.
And could have been a lot of trouble and could have spiraled downhill from there, but you didn't. You guys answered with a nice drive. I believe it was almost 8 minutes, wasn't it, in that first?
Yeah.
Did a nice job. You answered the bell.
Yeah, we won. I mean, we had the ball more than they did. We won time of possession and so forth, and it was really good to do. But we deferred because of the wind. I didn't want to put the offense in a position where they would be going into the wind. So it helped. We had the wind with us the first quarter. But the first, they make a 70-yard run or 80-yard run the first play of the game because we step out of position by 2 steps or so, and on our option responsibilities, and it just some of that is we can't simulate it in practice, and we just can't get the speed that we need, and you got to be disciplined, and we're a young team, and kids are going to make mistakes sometimes, and we also missed some tackles, and they made us pay.
Well, it's got to say a lot about your team and the makeup of the coaches to respond to something like that. I mean, it really shows the character of both the coaches.
Well, we tell them there's 48 minutes. The game's not going to be won in the first half, but you could lose it in the first half. And you're right, we were on the brink there a little bit because if offensively we wouldn't have come back and moved the ball and controlled things and got things calmed down, we could have been in a little bit of trouble with them. But the next 2 series on defense, we stopped them on 3 and out, and then I think we got a turnover. So we were playing better, and we were able to get to the half tied, and felt like our chances were good. That's what we wanted to be, in a position to win the game at halftime, and we were there. And the coaches had a great game plan. Offensively, they did a nice job of timing up the play so that we used most of the play clock every time and shortened the game, and it's kind of like in basketball when somebody uses the shot clock up to shorten the game and limit possessions. The same thing that we did with Glenville, and it worked pretty well for us, and we had like I said, we had our chances, and we didn't get it done.
Your passing game seemed to be working pretty well when you needed it to, and they really didn't seem like they had an answer for Jordan Shelton, who had another big game, 8 catches, 110 yards.
Yeah, he's a good receiver. Nick throws a good ball, and you know, they play a lot of man-to-man, and we were able to get him open a couple times, and you know, because some of it, good play calling by Coach Cook, and some of the good routes, and it's a combination of things. And Jordan, it's no secret, we're going to throw the ball to him 10, 12 times a game, and hopefully he catches 8 or 9 of them. So, you know, he had a couple nice catches there at that last drive, and you know, he's done that all year.
You had 89 yards, and there were some really hard yards for Jake Nelson to get.
Yeah.
But he seemed like when you needed on first down, he gave you a good enough yardage that it made your options on second and third down a little bit easier. I mean, not as, you know, far in distance or whatever.
Right. As the game went on, our offensive line was able to pick up their blitzes. They were blitzing in almost every play, you know, on the run blitzes inside. And I thought this was Jake's best game. I thought that he ran harder than he's run all year. And even though he didn't have as many yards, he had 89, but he was going against really a quality defense. And for him to get 89 yards and, like you said, really be effective on first down for us says a lot about him. And he's up to 1,000 yards on the year now. And you know, and we've mentioned it before, he's just a workman-like player. He's not super fast or anything like that, but he just gets positive things done for us.
And you know, that was one of the things I was just going to talk to you about now, was the offensive line did a great job on those blitzes, picking up those blitzes. And, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize a lot of that stuff that goes on during the game. They might see a mistake or see something there, but they don't realize you know, the real football, if you want to say football players, know what's going on there.
Right. Well, they're playing, like I said, they played a lot of man-to-man, so that frees up guys to blitz. They're not worried about pass responsibility and things like that. And, you know, they have a great player in Antonio Poole that was number 18. It was just, he was in our backfield a fair amount. You know, we kind of, after a while, it was almost like he was just blitzing and taking himself out of the play a few times. And we were kind of glad he was doing it there after a while, because otherwise he could have sat back there at 7 yards and just ran downhill at us and made a lot of plays. So, yeah, it's something that they have to handle, because, you know, that's, if people can't stop you, that's what they're going to do, start blitzing you. And then if you can handle that, then you're going to be successful. And for the most part, we did okay.
I think Mason's really progressed, I think, since the first game of the year. I think he threw for 205 yards, and he threw to 5 different receivers.
Right.
You have to be happy with what you got coming back.
Well, he's done a nice job all year. He understands what Coach Cook wants him to do, and I think he's got 15 touchdowns on the year and only 6 interceptions, which for a junior is, you know, I'll take that anytime.
Absolutely.
Take that for a senior, but you know, he does the right thing, throws it to our guys instead of the other teams. You know, as a head coach, that's great. But I'm very happy with what Nick's accomplished this year, and you know, his knees still bothering him some, and hopefully next year, you know, that knee's even better, and he, you know, he can run a little bit better, and because he's not really a running threat at all. We went from having the best running quarterback we've ever had in Brandon to Nick, who's not a runner at all, but one of the better passers we've ever had. And so other guys have had to pick up that part of the offense, like Jake and Tanner and Stoney before he got hurt and things like that. And Nick's going to be a good player for us.
Yeah, you mentioned a minute ago, just before halftime, one of the bad snaps, you were in position to tie it up before halftime. Then you had the bad snap and took it all the way back to the 45.
Right.
And it looked like we weren't going to score, but with 13 seconds to play, Mason hits Reed Kaiser with a 45-yard touchdown pass.
Right.
How fired up was your team at halftime?
They were excited. They were excited. It was good design of the play, and the kids executed it well. I mean, it was off of play action, but it's kind of Reed was kind of hiding a little bit, and did a nice job, and their kid never saw him, and by the time he did, he was already past him, and Nick made a good throw, and Reed got it in the end zone. So, you know, when you can finish to tie the game up right before the half, I felt like we had a lot of the momentum. We got the ball coming out, which, you know, we'd been able to move it a little bit, so we felt good about that, and that maybe we could go down and get the lead and make them chase us a little bit. And unfortunately, we could never do that, because it's a different game than when they have to throw when they don't want to. And because we weren't playing much pass all night, we knew we had to stop the run, and they were 3 for 3 throwing the ball, and they were all 3 big catches.
Right. The defense gave up 2 big long runs for touchdowns. Obviously, the first one to Owens for 80 yards. But then after you had to give the ball back to them to start the third quarter, Kemper scored on the 60-yard run. And that really took away our momentum. I mean, we
Yeah.
tied up at halftime, and we had the ball coming out, like you said, but Kemper took that ball 60 yards for a touchdown. That really hurt.
Well, and I usually don't like to complain about calls or anything, but we had taken the ball like the play before. Brian Bale had tackled the football, and he had it, and we all knew that he had it, and we didn't get that call. And because at the end they stuck an arm in on the pile, and they got that. And so our guys were a little deflated, and Kemper's a great player, and he hits it. He's so quick and powerful. Once he got in the secondary, he was gone. And you know, those kind of things are just huge factors in the game. And when we've beaten them, we've generally limited their big plays. And they got 2 huge plays on us. And they had the one nice drive at the end of the game to get the go-ahead touchdown. But those other ones really hurt us.
The Vail fumble recovery, because that's what it was. He recovered the fumble. Everybody I talked to that watched that game on Fox Sports was saying the same thing.
Right.
I mean, how in the world, because he's obviously on the ground with the ball cradled. I mean, how did we not get that
You know,
call?
kids cover him up, and they can't see who's at the bottom of the pile. But
Poked in the eye.
Yeah.
You know, so all those kind of things. And you know, it didn't work for us this time. We didn't get that call, and that would have been a huge call, because the ball was on. We've got the ball on about their 40 probably,
Right.
which with really good field position.
Well, Winton Woods passed the ball for a 7-yard touchdown late in the game with like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and only the third, like you said, only the third pass.
Yeah.
And left you enough time to come back. And we really thought you were going to do it. You got it all the way down to the 12-yard line, just couldn't punch it in.
Well, you know, we had some mistakes and pass interference, and snap over the head, different things. But you know, we were going to go for 2 and go for the win right there. We weren't going to play overtime.
That was my next question.
Our defense was tired, and I didn't want to, you know, I didn't feel like we necessarily had a great chance to stop them in a 20-yard zone, and you know, and they could score, you know, so quickly. So we were getting ready for the 2-point play, and you know, we didn't get a chance to execute it. It'd been interesting if we would have.
Right before the ball snapped over his head back to the 32, I was just getting ready to say, "Hey Dan, what are we going to do here? We going to go for 2, or what are we going to do here?"
I would have waited till we, you know.
So we lined up.
Yeah. Before I gave you that answer.
You know, we were going for 2 all the way on that, and you know, we were the underdog going in the game, and we had to try to make something happen, and we did on special teams with Kyle blocking the punt and Austin scoring for our 3rd touchdown to tie the game up. So, you know, we're hoping we had one more big play in us. We didn't get a chance to use it.
That was just the question I was just getting ready to ask you. Was the big
here tonight?
yeah,
Taking
the
our questions
big
before we get there.
special teams play? You said that was going to be a factor in the game, and it actually ended up. You know, you're trailing, and it just what a huge play, and you could just see the stadium, the emotion on the Anderson side was just they were kind of going crazy there.
Yeah. Well, you know, we thought we could get one, and Kyle did a nice job of getting Skinny through the hole and blocking it, and Austin was there and, you know, picked it up like he should and ran in. And it's been a while since we blocked a punt for a touchdown. We hadn't hardly blocked too many punts all year, but we had to try to make something happen at that point in the game, and the kids executed. You know, Coach Newt had a good scheme. Kids executed it very well.
I think Tommy Chapman did a nice job with that being. He did some nice kicks on kickoffs, and thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, he did. Tommy's legs feeling good, and he's you know, when he feels good and gets to practice, he's a good weapon for us.
I was surprised at the offensive interference call they called on Tanner Braunhaver. Still trying to figure out, because I was watching the ball at the time. I thought the ball was already caught by Jordan Shelton, I thought, but I couldn't really tell because kind of looked up late. What was their explanation on that one?
He had made contact with him before the ball was thrown.
Did he?
And not intentionally. He's going in and establishing position, and he happened to just run into the guy before the, you know, and it was a good call. We'd run a similar play earlier in the game, and you know, he had already established position, and their guy ran into him, so it wasn't interference. But on this time, he wasn't quite set, and you know, the timing of it was off a little bit, and you know, that was the right call on that. We didn't think so at the time, and it's a difficult point in the game that you don't ever want to see that type of call, but it was correct. I mean, you know, now the other one that they missed when Jordan was running, and they you know, interfered with him, didn't let him get into his post route, is another story. But you know, the one at the end was a good call.
Well, the big thing, I mean, too, is these kids, yourself, everybody had to be thrilled to be on a big stage, television. But everybody that I talked to after the game or that called me said that the Lapham and Johansson were just praising you, the coaching staff, and the kids, and how sound and fundamentally your kids and the Winton Woods kids looked, and how great of a game it really was.
Yeah, it was a good game. Well, you know, we have to be sound and we have to be fundamental, and you know, my coaches and myself, we work very hard at it and put a lot of time into game planning and planning things that hopefully put our kids in a position to win, and that's what makes it fun when that works out for you. And in this case, it didn't. So it's always nice to get complimented in that. And our kids are never going to quit, and they're used to playing in big games now after the 3-year run that we had previously. And you know, they look forward to it, and they step up, and they generally play pretty well in those games. And you know, Winton Woods played very well too, and you know, they were a touchdown better the other night.
Guys were 7-1 going in this game. You know, your 8 games, and I think at the beginning of the season, I don't know if too many people had you predicted to do what you did, and obviously did. And you have a young team. What was the most surprising thing about your young team and how they developed during the season?
They just kept improving, and young teams will do that. And our seniors, you know, as well, kept working at it. And you know, we knew going into the season that the Oak Hills game was a toss-up. We felt like Glen Estee game, Winton Woods game would be toss-up games. We knew we'd be the underdog against Glenville. We thought Loveland and Milford and Harrison could be games that potentially, if we didn't play well, they could knock us off. And we still have the Harrison game to play. So, you know, we kind of won every game that was a close game or a toss-up game or a game that you know, we really had a chance to lose. We felt like, you know, maybe Woodward, Boone County, we would be the favorites to win those. But you know, we were saying we could be anywhere from 5-5 to, you know, probably 9-1, and it's you know, hopefully we can win Friday against Harrison, be 8-2, which for this team, you know, with the talent level they have, they've probably gotten about as much out of as far as winning games as any team that has been around Anderson a long time. Because when you look at them, they're not a real big team. We've got a little bit of speed on defense. You know, we're not super fast. There's no great playmakers on offense that are going to outrun anybody, but they execute things and they play hard, and our guys always believe they're going to win, and they always have a chance because of that. And you know, hopefully as coaches we can put them in a position where they have that chance.
After what you've lost in terms of talent the last couple of years, to have this team with a chance to finish at 8-2, even though the chances for the playoffs seem to look like they're slim right now.
Yeah, they are.
You have to be happy with how this team's overachieved, and they've really kept up with the tradition of winning in Anderson.
Oh, they have, for sure. And you know, they're always I'm going to always remember this team as a team that was gritty and tough and won some close ball games. And you know, the seniors have been good leaders, and there's not a lot of them. Basically, there's 12 seniors that are really playing, because the other 2 are kickers, and Alex Pollock's been hurt all year and hasn't played. So, you know, when you have playing a Division I schedule with really 12 seniors, that's tough. And our young guys have had to step up, and you know, Matt Reinhardt's had to be a starter from about the 3rd week on, and you know, he wasn't ready to play at that time, but now he's a varsity football player and he understands what it's about. And some of our other guys have really stepped up, and hopefully the future will be bright for us.
I think the future's very bright. We can't wait till next year.
Absolutely.
Players of the game.
Offensively, Jake Nelson, like I said, 89 yards. Just ran really hard against a very fast physical defense, and it was good to see. Defensively, Brian Vale. He you know, played really hard, played well. Brian's not the most athletic guy, but he's one of the smarter guys we have on defense. He watches a lot of tape, and he really understands football, and he really cares and works really hard. And then special teams, Austin White for scooping up the fumble and scoring. So you know, just congratulate those 3 guys.
Right.
3 great selections. Any injuries going into this last game?
Well, Matt White sprained his ankle a little bit today. I think he's going to play, and he'll be fine. Probably won't practice tomorrow. But it didn't swell up too bad, and I think he'll be okay. Other than that, everybody's pretty much back. We've got some younger guys that are dinged up that aren't going to play, probably, you know, the last game or the last JV game. But varsity-wise, we're for 10th game and for what we've gone through with the lack of depth all year long, for us to be where we're at. You know, Alex Black is back practicing now, and you know, and if we had a few more weeks, Stoney might be back.
Just getting ready to ask you about
You know,
him.
he's making progress on his injury, and so for us to be where we're at, we're very fortunate.
Good. The freshman and JV teams, what did they do this past week?
Freshman got beat.
14-8 was it? Or who
JV
it?
was 14-8 or 14-10. JV got beat, and you know, they've been battling all year. They got one more game Saturday. Freshmen got beat. They got beat pretty handily, maybe like 39-13, something like that. 39-21, possibly. But Winton Woods freshmen, you know, it's a good group, and our freshmen have been kind of snake bit. They're a good group as well, but they've run into some good. Everybody in our league seems to have a good group of freshmen right now, and I think Harrison's aren't too bad either. So it'll be a good ball game for them.
Okay, speaking of Harrison, let's go ahead and start talking about it. I mean, your last game, it's at home this week in Week 10, and
Right.
you still have a shot at the league if Glen Estee can do some damage to Winton Woods.
Right.
Something could happen there. And on the Harrison side, heck, they're playing for a Division II playoff berth.
Right. I think they're probably still going to get in no matter what happens, because they beat East Central and they beat Kings, which has given them a lot of points. But we definitely, you know, we want to finish out at home with a win. We want to finish with only one league loss, and like you said, if Glen Estee can knock off Winton Woods, it'll be a three-way tie, and which would be a great thing for us. And yeah, our playoff possibilities are very slim. We need just about everything to go right for us. It's not, you know, so we're not counting on that. But you know, it'll be senior night. Our guys will be fired up to play, and Harrison's a very worthy opponent that is going to cause us some problems. They have a really good running game, a big, strong running back, and they throw the ball well enough that you have to be concerned with that. They have a good receiver, and you know, they always are well coached on offense, so it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, speaking of that, they got, I think his name's Launeman. I think he had
Launeman.
280 yards and 4 touchdowns against Milford. And also, you know, he's going to be hard to handle. Just like you said, I believe their quarterback is in the top in the league leaders, I believe, in passing as well. So they've got a pretty good balance there.
Yeah, Launeman's the key, though. He's going to carry it as much, unless we stop him, he's going to get it 30 times.
I think he carried it 39 times against Milford last
Yeah,
week.
he's going to carry the mail quite a bit for them. He's a big, strong, 215-pound kid. And, runs downhill very, very well. He's not going to outrun us necessarily, but he's tough to tackle one-on-one, and he's going to drag you for a couple extra yards. So we really have to make a point of emphasis of not over-scraping on things, making sure we're filling the holes, and that everybody's getting there to gang tackle him. And then they'll mix in some short passing game and take their chances to throw it deep to you know, number 18, who's their best receiver. And you know, they've had some success with that as well.
Talk a little bit about their defense. What kind of defense do they run?
They're an even front, 4-2 defense, and same thing they've been running for a few years. So it's nothing really new. They've got you know, decent size, and linebackers aren't too bad. And, you know, I think their team's strength is their offense, and they're just kind of an average type defense. And you know, so hopefully we can score a few points, but you know, we've got to execute, because they're just going to play solid fundamental defense and not let us get behind them, and you know, hope that we make mistakes and things like that.
Game plan and keys to the game, obviously, same thing every week is limit the turnovers, obviously, and be able to be effective on offense.
Well, I think defensively, first of all, we've got to stop the running game. If we can do that and force them to go to something else, that even though they can throw effectively, that's not what they want to do. We've got to take the tailback away. And that's going to be a challenge for us, because he's as big as just about anybody on our defense. And their offensive line's got decent size. They're, like I said, they're well coached on their run schemes, on their power schemes, and how they run things. And I think offensively we have to, you know, get our guys in space, and with Jordan and Tanner, and try to make some plays and be able to run the ball effectively. And then special teams, which I think we've been very strong at all year. Hopefully we can continue that, and you know, make our field goals and extra points, and punt well, and not get anything blocked, and hopefully we can come out on top.
Let's talk a little bit about the Alumni Association. We're getting ready to wrap all this up, and you know, that's just, I think it's going to be a very important thing for the Alumni Association, especially to come out this Friday night and support the team. You know, check them out, and not only that, but get down there to meet with some of your former players. And you know, we got more footballs that have been ordered in the last couple weeks, and I think it's just, an important thing for this to keep rolling for the kids.
Yeah, it is.
You know, as we said, you can contact Coach Giesing, myself, or John Raymond. And what we really want to do is try to maybe get together after the season is over, maybe have a sit down with you and have some of the former players come.
Sure.
And we'll determine where that's going to be. But I really think that this should be the time that people really start to come on board with this.
Well, we hope so. I mean, we're trying to generate interest with all the great tradition we've had and the great players. And there's a lot of them that are in the community still. And everybody's busy. A lot of them are, you know, starting out their families and got young kids. And I was there once, and I know that takes a lot of time.
Right.
And I can appreciate that. But if they can find some time to get up to school and, you know, check us out Friday, or get up and, you know, in the off season, they're welcome anytime. Come up and see what's going on, watch us work out, and see how we're doing things. Some of the guys that are coaching youth football are a little aware of how we do things. You know, Dale Adams has been around, and Nate Cosman and Barry Martin and guys like that are coaching. And you know, they've seen us up there on Saturdays and kind of seen some of the things we're doing. But you know, all those guys are welcome to stop in anytime, give me a call, come in, talk football, tell stories about how great they were, and I'll just listen to them, agree with them. But you know, that's all we're trying to do.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and wrap things up. Let's thank the good folks up here at Anderson Community Television for the use of their studio and their air times, both for the Redskin Review here and for our games as well. Thanks to our producer, John Raymond, who is getting ready to substitute for me Friday. I'll be out of town.
Cannot wait.
And it'll be Danny and John Raymond behind the mics on Friday. So
Yeah, baby.
yeah,
There it is.
He's all fired up. He's worked on his cliches all week. So
Yeah,
he'll be
the
ready
Book of
for it.
Dano is already coming in
Book of
effect.
Dano. So, and again, remember, if you can't make a game or you have relatives out of town, one of the best things that we've added in the last few years is the fact that we do the games live on usbnsports.com. And if, like I said, if you have grandparents or you're out of town, you can listen to every game live on Friday nights and pass the word. And then, you know, we love hearing from folks who are listening to us live, and it really just makes it that much more fun to do the games.
And real one thing I forgot to mention before was that Dan Beinecke, a former player for Anderson, is at 3 games has taken pictures. So you can go to the website and you can check out the pictures, and if you'd like to order any of those pictures, took some really great pictures of the Glen Estee game.
Oh, good.
Let's see if he is going to be able to do the Harrison game or not. But that's another thing that we're doing with the Alumni Association, getting him involved so a lot of the players can order some of those pictures.
That's on your website.
That's on my website.
It's www.usbnsports.com.
Yep.
So if you get a chance, go check it out.
The other thing is I've got most of the old videotapes, at least back to about 1994. I don't know what happened to the ones before that. Are pretty much put on DVDs, and you know, if guys want to see those, and we have access to that, and they can look at those things. And you know, and then the other thing is wrapping this up as our last show. Just thank you two guys for all the time you put in and the time John puts in to help me and help promote our program. And you know, we couldn't do it without you.
Well, I appreciate that.
I appreciate it too. It's fun to do. So believe me, it's fun for all of us.
Yes,
so.
it is.
So, Coach, good luck this week.